On November 17th, 2020, the Hyperion sword was added to Hypixel Skyblock as one of the Necron's blade variants. And now if you want to get yourself one, you'll have to pay the cheap price of 750 million, and that's only for the lowest bin price right now. Not Lombok, you might say. Aren't there other ways to get it? And yes, there are. If you're lucky, you can get a nice Necron's blade dropped to you by completing a floor 7 dungeon and opening a bedrock chest. Then you can craft that into a Necron's blade and then craft it into a Hyperion. And the drop chances for that, you may ask? 0.09%. Yep, it's an endgame weapon and therefore it's really difficult to just get. So today I'm gonna show you my fastest methods to get this Hyperion sword for both early game, mid game, and end game. And before the video starts, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can always unsubscribe. Yep, they all say that, but just please subscribe. I'm very desperate. Now starting off with early game, this is quite the tricky one because it requires you to make a lot of money. And you know, just as an early game, that is really difficult to do. So what my recommendations are is that you work yourself from early game up to mid game, and then at mid game you should have a better chance at getting more and more money. But still, what do you do as early game, you may ask? Now there are a few methods, but my favorite are auction house flipping and bazaar flipping. So the bazaar flip, you want to find an item that goes for a cheap price. Say if you want to buy this, it would cost you 5.5 coins, and if you want to sell it, you can sell it for 6.6 coins. Now what you wanted to do is you want to buy these items for cheap and sell them for more. Yep, that's what they all say, and it's a little bit harder than it seems, but I'll just demonstrate right here. I'm gonna show this with cobblestone, but you would want to do this with whatever item is the best in the auction house right now. And there are some websites that can show you this, and I'll link one down in the description. But essentially what you want to do is you want to find the item with good margins. Right now these aren't the best, but I'll just demonstrate with this. You want to put up a buy order. I'm just gonna do 64 right now, and that's gonna cost me 358.4 coins, and that should be pretty simple to get as an early game player. You see it was filled almost instantly. When you want to claim these items, and then you want to go up here to the bazaar, and then you want to create a sell offer for best offer -1. There you go. And then you can see whenever this sells, we'll have a little more coins. Now if you do this on a higher skill, you can earn more and more money, and that's a pretty good method to start with. Now if you want to do this with the auction house, you can go here and then you can find some items that go for cheap on the actual auction house that you could resell. You see this level 1 Jerry pet has the top bid for 2,000 coins, and if you get it for cheaper than 70,000, you can sell it for 70,000 lowest bin. Now please don't get confused by these furniture items. Usually they're bought up, so please don't buy furniture items because you might not get rid of them. Say you get a little more money, you could probably find some dragon chest plates or some other armor pieces. So say this one is 76,000 here on the auction, and then you could resell it for 149. Now of course you would have to find a good deal, and you would have to make sure that you don't overpay for it. Otherwise, participating in the Spooky Fest, doing other things such as participating in Diana events and do griffins and stuff like that whenever those exist. It's been ages since Diana was selected, but those methods are ways that you can slowly get more money as an early game player. And now if you want a full-scale video on how to do this, please make sure to comment and I'll make a video on how to make money as an early game player. Now moving on to mid game, how would you make money here? And some of my favorite recommendations are farming. First of all, farming can make you around up to 3 mil an hour, if not more actually. And so basically what you want to do is you want to build one of these high skill farms, get yourself a nice turning hoe that you get for participating in Jacob's events. I explained all of this in my last video, so please make sure and go watch that if you want more information on that. Something that you need to have, that which you already probably have, are minions. Upgrade your minions as much as you can. I have clay minions. They give me around like 1 mil or 2 a day. They're not the best, but they work. You could use lapis minions, or if you want to use clay minions, you can put a diamond spreading inside of them and get a little more money. Now hopefully you have the dwarf mines unlocked by now, and something that you always want to do is you want to go to warp forge and always have something forging in here. I don't think I have something right now, but you will always want to have something forging. And now you might wonder, what should you forge? And you want to look at the items required and the sell price. Now if the items required are lower than the sell price, they're a decent item to forge. Now if you look at the mithril plate right here, you can see that the lowest bid is 3.4 million coins. Now doing some math real quick, we can see that all of this combined would come out to 3.192 million, and you can resell for 3.45 million. Now you would make a little bit profit of this, but you can always find the items that do the best, do the math, and then figure out which one would be the best to resell. Now having this forge going all the time will definitely make you some extra money and will definitely be a huge help to get your Hyperion. And I just want to say now that you can also do farming as an early game. It's just a little bit more difficult to get into, but it's definitely a good way to get into early game from mid game. Now dungeons are another great way of making money in Hypixel Skyblock. You can get some decent drops from like 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all of those floors. You can get them as non-RNG and RNG drops. Like usually if you get drops from mobs or something like that, you can resell them for like 40k coins, and you might get a lot in a run, and you can sell those for a lot. Now that isn't the best way, but they definitely work. Now you can also get RNG drops from chests or mobs in the dungeon that you can resell for a high price. Say if you do floor 6, you can get the ancient roses, or you can get a giant sword, but it's a very low chance of dropping. But I would definitely recommend also, if you want to get a Hyperion, to climb your ways up in the dungeons, get yourself some Shadow Assassin armor, some Necron's armor if you've completed floor 6, and then just work your way up. You can also get Storm armor, Superior armor, and dungeonize it, but definitely work on your dungeon skills if you also want to do the Hyperion, because it does require a floor 7 completion, and if you don't have that and you have Hyperion, that's kind of sad. Now for my last favorite method, which will also make it easier for late game, there is gemstone mining. Now this is a little more expensive to get into, and it requires your Heart of Mountain also to be a higher level. So start off by doing commissions, getting your Heart of Mountain to at least level 6, and then I would recommend you to start gemstone mining. Now if you don't want to get Heart of Mountain 6, you can also use a pick on Nimbus 2000, which has a breaking power of 7, and that breaking power is good enough to break some gemstones. So my recommendations is, for armor, get yourself some Sora armor if you're a beginner, get yourself a bell pet, they shouldn't be too expensive, and get yourself a gauntlet or a pick a Nimbus. Now the gemstone gauntlet, it has a breaking power of 9 and should be good enough to break all of the gemstones, and it also has gemstone slot, but it does require Heart of Mountain 6. It is a little more pricey, but it'll definitely be worth it in the end. If you want to have some extra perks, Heart of Mountain 7 is a lot better to have, but at least Heart of Mountain 7 if you want to do this. With a good setup, you could make at least 10 million an hour as a mid-game player, but it does require a lot of grinding, so you have to prepare yourself for that. I never said it was easy to get Hyperion. If you want to upgrade from that, you can get yourself a nice titanium drill 655, which is a lot better. It does require Heart of Mountain 7, but it'll definitely make your life easier. It is also very expensive, may I add, which is also why we move on to end game now. Moving on to the late game, there are many ways that you can make up to 80 mil an hour, if not even more. You need a good setup, but it's possible. You want to get yourself a nice Steven's drill, which is very cheap. It's more expensive than the Hyperion. You might have already had the Hyperion by now, but I mean, this is a good way of actually getting the Hyperion again, and mining is just a good money making method overall. Along with this, you want to get the helmet of Divin, chestplate of Divin, leggings of Divin, and boots of Divin. Now this is really expensive, but what you can do here is you can do ruby mining or whatever mining, and if you find a good ruby mining spot in the magma fields with your bell pet, you will make a lot of money. Now you can use some waypoint mods and stuff like that. However, Menacing Banana made a very good video explaining all of this, and I'll link that video down below. But those are my best and favorite methods to get a Hyperion sword fast. How fast could you get this? I would reckon that if you really grind it and you tried your best, say mid game, you could probably, if you grind a lot for a little more than a month, you could definitely get it. And late game, you could get it within a week if you did the right thing. So these are my favorite and fastest methods to get the Hyperion sword in Hypixel Skyblock. So good luck grinding for it, and I just hope that you get it, because it's a good sword. Now once again, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to like and subscribe. Do it right now. It's free. It takes no time. You can always unsubscribe. So please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below what you want to see my Alexis going off. All right. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and bye.